Crap, my camera's battery, the plug-in didn't work. Anyway, here we are ready to start Peloponnesian War. The big scenario trying at solitaire. And it starts off with the operation phase, the first operation phase for the Spartans. Now this is purely procedural, so I should be able to get through this. I always have a hard time starting something, especially something new, either something large, which I don't think this will terribly be, or something new that I haven't, that I can't assimilate easily from the rules. And with the procedural side, this is going to be, or this has been not terribly easy for me. It's not that the rules are terribly procedural, it's a solo game, so the bot is going to be that way. So first thing we do is we look at defensive. We're not within 2 spaces of Sparta with any Athenians, so that's safe. Corinth and Thebes are not occupied, and Syracuse is not occupied. So none of the defensive strategies are in play. So we skip to the next thing. The operation's objective space, depending on the current strategy. You know what? I need to get dice. And supposedly we need 2 different colors, so let's try that. There's a blue shaded box directly below the current strategy, right here. Let's see what else it says. Within this box is a list of areas with a 1d6 roll. Roll a die. Then determine the operation's objective space with a second die roll in the red shaded box. What? Okay. List of areas with a 1d6 die roll. Well, that's here. So I got a 5. That's Decalavia. Oh. That is the red shaded box. That's what I'm not getting there. Of course, this is the only strategy that has that red shaded box. So that may be directly going somewhere, and it looks like it is. Which means I need my objective hex here. So that's where I guess I'm heading. I think the others send you to a general area and you roll, but this is, you're going for Athens. Okay. Which is unlikely, I think, to work well. I think attacking directly at the opponent's homeland is less than effective. It has to be not controlled by the non-player. The attack Athens and attack Sparta are different. Okay, now the leader has to assemble an army. Now I think the army size is going to be determined by this, and my plug. Determine if it's coastal, island, or land. CIL. I guess that's for any type. So I need to get 12 hoplites and 2 cav together. Now, I move my leader, starting in his home space. Did I draw a leader yet? I have to draw one. So we have, he has +1 tactical, -1 strategic. Strategic gets added in on this die roll, so he's likely to go for the kill. Not that that affects this moment. Entering assembly spaces and picking up SPs out of the treasury. When assembling a non-player army, you must follow the guidelines under 4.21. Non-player army building priorities. Closest to the non-player's home space before using more distant. But that's not the actual rule, I don't think. One does not denude an assembly space of all SPs unless absolutely necessary. You denude friendly color-coded before enemy. Okay, take the maximum amount of SPs required from the home space before proceeding to any other assembly spaces. Okay. So I'm not allowed to take this. I think I'm allowed to take all the SP other than Sparta, than the home guard, because that does not denude the space. So I've got 8 units. Now, what does that cost me? Well, we got to go to the assembly costs. Each land SP costs 200. Okay, so I got 8 of them. That's going to cost me 1,600. There's 1,000, 1,600. Okay, I'm going to need, it looks like, 1 more cav and 5 more infantry. All right. So the next place we go is that are closest to the home space. Okay, movement restrictions I will not enter. Yeah, okay. All right, so I'm gonna kind of hold these off board. Just plug is not working, just because I can move him from there. Now he's allowed to just, and this is the next closest. So I can get 5 more infantry, and that's going to cost me another 1,000. But I gotta find me some cav. Now, cav only has a range of 1 for zone of influence, if I recall correctly. If I can find it. It's in here somewhere. Yeah. So, I have to go by my shortest route, though, which to me looks like it's going to be here or here. Looks like they're equal distance. What does that mean? See, now, if I was playing 2-player, I wouldn't have to look up all this crap. But now I'm going to have to pause and try to find out the procedural rule that tells me what I can do to get there, I think, in terms of shortest route. Do I randomly check it, or is there some policy in effect that decides it? Now, if I were playing one, with both players, I would just say, I don't want a chance being intercepted. So immediately I caught a mistake. I spent for these. They're Spartan. They don't cost me. Spartan and hoplites are free. Okay. And I caught that by looking here in the play guide. And that's a rule I should have just known. So it was kind of helpful that I looked there. But now what I'm going to look for is here, Corinth. Corinth is the next? That can't be. Maybe this is a different scenario. No. "12 hoplite and 2 cavalry. No, I couldn't take the last cav strength point from the space when other Spartan allied cav are present. So there's 200 more. Okay. How was that worded? Is it the last? Yeah, it's of a particular type. Okay. It's helpful for me to use this in terms of getting rules right, but maybe not that valuable in terms of enjoyment. Okay, the next space is Corinth. Why? Where's Corinth? I don't see any troops in Corinth. Oh, did I already go to Corinth? I don't know. Corinth is here. Is that right? See, this would be so much easier to just play than to have to worry about getting all this crap right. Because now I have to look up the scenario, which of course is here. Were those supposed to be in Corinth, or were they somewhere else? Yeah, they were supposed to be in Corinth, not in Pegae. Okay. So we can't pick everything up from Corinth either. Because we'd be taking... Right? I don't know. I hate following rules like this. I really do. Like, I just want to play it and enjoy it, but because of the specifics and the way it says fold into this and learn it all, you know, I can't just kind of enjoy the game. Instead, I'm forced to do that. Yeah, partially because I know Mark will yell at me if I, at least in his subtle sort of way, if I play the game wrong. So this is what you see when I get forced to deal with, you know, actually coping with the rules as opposed to just enjoying a game. I don't know where the hell I am either. I'm looking for something. Yeah. But the truth is, I do not like procedural rules. I do not like solitaire games because they force me to run this stupid bot instead of just kind of playing. But of course, I might have cheated. No, I could have taken this. The only reason I can't, I think, is because of the non-player army building rules. But maybe I'll learn how to play better. Yeah, so I can't take that, I guess. So I get one of these back, and I get 200 bucks back. And I'm kind of here. God knows if I've spent the right amount here. I bought 4. All right, now we got to look back here to make sure I got the right money. So I bought 4 guys that cost me 800, so I should be at 2,200. Great. Now we go back to the thing in the rolls. And I just want to play a game, not follow a cookbook for it. Like, I don't feel like I'm playing a game when I'm doing this anymore. I feel like I'm doing some mechanical task, like a tech support checklist or something. It's not why I'm into gaming. All right, where am I? So now I follow this to see what I'm supposed to do, which I'll probably never do right again. So it's not going to help me, but all right. I feel like I must use it. All right, I don't care what the different distance is. So now where do I go? Okay. So now I have to go to Thebes. And I do it with a random die roll. Which looks like it's 1, 2, it's this way. This way, that way, or that way. I see 4 different directions. The rules say 3. I'm going to say there's 4 different possible paths I can take. I'm not sure. There's nowhere in the rules itself that I know where it talks about this, which is why I had to look in this crap for the play thing, which is... Let's see, there are 3 equidistant paths to Thebes. Pegae, Siphae, Platae, Thebes. Pegae, Panicatum, Tangre, Thebes. Pegae, Panicatum, Platae, Thebes. I can't read them all. I can't understand them all, you know, when I'm reading something like this. So, Pegae, Siphae, Platae, Thebes. Why not Charonia? I don't know. And where's the next one? Pege Panictum Tanagria Thebes. Okay, that would be the one that could be one of the two that could be. And now the next one, Pege Panictum Plate Thebes. So why not two of these? I don't know. I got no answer to that. Obviously, if I were playing it, I would want to go this way. Avoid this and pillage a province. But I don't have that choice. I think there are 4 and the rulebook says 3. But it does tell me that I should roll a die, which is something that I did not see in the rules itself. Alright, so I do not roll a 1 through 4. Okay, so I take the third choice, whatever that was, which I think will be through Panictum Plate. Which means I go to here, and now we have an interception check. Okay, now I must make that check. I don't know where my extra die has gotten to. And yes, I'm grumpy. When I'm faced with things I don't like doing, I don't enjoy myself. All right, so 4 through 6, there's an interception. There's an interception. I roll a die for each side. Okay, red got a 1. They lose a strength point. I'll take one of these allied units, just because I assume that's worse or better. And the total was 6. Wait, a force loses hoplite first. Okay. The total was 6, which doesn't cause a problem. And did we total 8 or greater? Well, maybe. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we total 8 or greater. So now we have a battle. And this will be an actual battle. But I'm still trying to gather my forces for my objective, which is something separate. Now, of course, I wouldn't have done this if I was playing it all reasonably instead of a bot. So I think this battle happens outside of the normal combat phase, but it has the same effects. So we add tactical leadership. That's the upper number. Both guys are +1 to their die roll. Does one side have more cav than the other? Well, this side has none. Okay, so we're at +2 to +1. One side have more hoplites than the other. This side has 10 hoplites. Pericles here has 6. So that's another point. That's a point for each. So that's 4 extra, so he's up to +5. And of course the comprehensive play can't help me now because I'm in a different world. It's at least 50% Spartan, so that's going to put it to +2. And this die only goes to a 6, so I think it's okay. Well, so I'm at +7 right now. I'll flip it over to remind me. Okay. And it is not happening in the Sparta space. So, +7 to +2. 13 to 8. This is going to be a victor. The winner loses nothing. The loser will lose the difference. 13 minus 8 is going to be 5. However, cav give me a bonus. And I have a cav, so that drops it to 4. So I think 4 Athenian hoplites are killed. I'm not sure. the winner's SCI goes up by 1. The loser's goes down by 1. And I think I just lost 15 victory points. In the going home box, Pericles is gone. And I think my hoplites are gone too. And I'm going to need one of these. Alright. So we get a minus 15 on here. And now what? Well, the battle is done, and I got to collect up my forces. So I get to keep going, but we get a... This is not good for... We get a ravaged marker here because we won the battle. And I think we were going through this way, and now we get to pick up more. Now, I pick up 2 cav, and how much infantry? How much infantry? I'm at 10, I need 2 more infantry, which means I've just bought 4 more guys. That's going to cost me 800, right? And now we continue marching, and we got to roll dice to see which way we go, because we have 2 different directions that could both go through here. I don't think that's important, so I'm not going to do that, but I am going to hit there. That gets me this, and then I end up here, and I believe that gets me a pillage marker here too, or a ravaged marker. And I've succeeded in my mission. What then? Well, let me look at victory points, because that's where I kind of remember maybe a mission gives me victory points. For each battle won or successful siege. No. Okay. So I'm not going to lose any points for that. And we go to the second phase for Athens. Remember, the first one I didn't actually play out. It's this siege up here, and I need a break. Alright, so now I'm on the Athenian Operation, and I got some interesting choices here, but the non-player side on additional operations will fail on a 5 or a 6 to get one going. The player side always on a 6. If it's a 2-player game, Sparta always fails on the 5 or 6 because they cared more about their oracles. So I'm going to get the opportunity to take an action if I want one. Here's the thing. My victory conditions are to get a victory total of 150 victory points, or either side surrenders by the end of turn 3. I think the easiest thing for me to try to effect at this point, just playing as with the Athenians, is I think I might be able to make the Athenians collapse if I can control them. That seems like the easiest way to win the game. Does that seem reasonable? Not particularly, but whatever. I guess I'm a traitor to Athens. So how can I do that? Well, I can do that by trying to strip Athens so it'll fall, which I think means I want to take my navy out and do something with it. But alternatively, maybe I just want to keep dropping my SCI as quickly as I can by losing battles to Sparta. Okay, well, I'm not quite sure how to go about this, but I do know that getting my navy out of here is useful. Let's take a look again at the long walls rule. As long as there are no fleets there, I think I can probably lose the game. Well, not lose the game, but have Sparta be destroyed, have Athens be destroyed, captured, which sounds to me like a good move. So if I'm going to do that, what do I want to do? I would like to get some victory points. The problem is that's going to drive my SCI up if I get victory points. So I'm not really quite sure what to do at this point. But one thing is I get an immediate leader. Looks like I get Alcibiades, who is good in combat and willing to push this upwards towards the attack Sparta side if I end up not being Athens. I don't have any particular requirement to gather a force. It's going to be hard for me. I can slip to get past here. It looks like there's a pretty nasty choke point there. So I'm going to have to operate navally, I think. And that kind of suits my send a force out. I don't know. I'm thinking I probably want to invade Sicily if I want to make Athens' life as hard as possible. Let me look to see if I can do that. Let's see if this works. I set sail and head down this way. And we got all kind of ravage markers we got to play here. I head here. I've got to take the shortest route. Oops, those are all rebellions. Now, I've put these siege markers in play. They shouldn't actually be on the board yet, but that's okay. They help me visualize what's going on. Now, I've hit here, and there's a possibility of a skirmish. Well, there is a possibility of an interception, which would cause a skirmish, and the possibility of a battle. Because I'm in his zone of control. However, he can't affect me. But I believe the skirmish is still a possibility. So let's see. Alright. Now the term army, I believe, includes navies. Let's see. If not, then this is stupid because I can't siege. Got a definition of terms somewhere. Yeah, building an army is out of the SPs. Okay. I don't know if I think I rolled and got an interception. So we have a skirmish. Neither side got hit. What about strength? This is a 4-point army. 2, 4, 6, 8. I think that forces a battle. No, it's only land SPs that would do it. So a battle could have happened if the skirmish die roll was too high. But that doesn't seem... I don't know what would happen in a battle. Like, in a normal battle, you wouldn't be able to fight between two different types of things. The Navy goes into the going home box. So that's kind of risky here. But we'll keep putting these down. We don't really want to get hit anywhere. if we can help it. But we are going to have one more place where we have to fight, or have a chance of fighting, which would drive us away. I.e., I guess we wouldn't be able to get the supplies we need or something like that, which is here. There's another interception chance there. That one fails. So we just keep sailing on. And, uh-oh. We're hitting a neutral space here. Oh no, that's our space, but this is a neutral space. What are we going to do about that? Well, because what we're trying to do is get up here and gain those forces. So what happens if Cephallenia ends up with us moving through it? I don't know. I have to look that up now. Apparently, as long as I don't make it my objective, I've got no problem. I had to pay for these things. 1,600. Okay. So we go through here. This is ours. It's not going to be ravaged. To here. I'd like to pick that up too, get more force. That's 200 more. Let me get these guys off the map. And I ravaged this space. And now I sail back. Okay, I'm here now. This would be 1, 2, 3 to there. 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this is the shorter path, so I got to go through the neutrals. Up here. It's another space ravaged. I go here. I pick these guys up. That's another 800 bucks. Nothing says I can't. You know, there's no limitation as to what size force I can bring, except what I can carry by sea. And now that I'm here, I'm following a normal line down to Italy. Okay, I think I've violated Syracuse by now. Let me make sure, because if not, if so, I should be ravaging them or something. If not, I don't know what. But whether or not they're able to intercept me before they've been violated, basically. So I have to look some more rules up. Until I move into Syracuse, they're not a problem. But now they're Spartan allies. And I am there. They have a chance of intercepting me in the space. I think 1 means they fail. I wonder if the player aid has information like that. One to 3 no interception, which means we're sitting here now. Is this going to be a siege or not? I don't know if I can really tell that at this point, but I can give a proposed siege there. The reason I can't tell is that Sparta could reinforce due to the defensive strategies. So I want to at least see if it's going to be a siege, if everything stays as it is. So let's see. 4 or more strength points weaker. Now I'm at 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 13 to 6. So indeed, I will be getting a siege here, assuming nothing bad happens. Now this isn't enough for me to claim that I own Syracuse if I take this, but if I do, it puts me a good step towards that. Basically, I have to own Syracuse and project a zone of control everywhere in Sicily to get the extra $1,000. That's an expensive proposition, but I think that's probably if there's any value to attacking Sicily, this is the time to do it, because I might be losing the war for Athens by doing it. That's going to put us over on a Spartan action. So I'm going to slide the dice over there. All right, so for Sparta, they're hitting one of their defensive strategies here. Syracuse is within the zone of influence of an Athenian force. A Spartan force must be used and conducts an attack Athens strategy for an objective. So that's going to take precedence over this. However, I have to come up with 10 hoplites and a cav, and I can't use the stuff that's already been used here, and I presume I can't use these guys. Just, it's hard to tell because, you know, this whole strategy doesn't seem reasonable from the player's point of view, right? I'm trying to lose the war for Athens while I'm Athens. So now there's not enough hoplites. What does that mean? Well, let's see. Now, I'd be rolling a die, and on a 5 or a 6, I won't be able to do anything anyhow. I think I'm not allowed to do this if I can't take my forces, but I'm trying to see whether that's spelled out anywhere. Alright, I'm going to have to keep looking at the rolls, it looks like. I hate bots. Insufficient forces requires a pass. Okay. So that makes an automatic pass for the Spartans. Now what about Athens? Do they have something else they'd like to do? I have another force here. Presumably, I could gather something up and do something. A successful attack. I can't attack Sardis. That will bring Persia in against me, which might be valuable in terms of trying to lose quickly, but that feels like it's going a little too far. On the other hand, I don't terribly want to hurt Sparta's SCI, and in fact I want to hurt mine. How do I hurt mine? I hurt mine by probably doing things that aren't going to succeed. I'm trying to succeed here because, hey, if I don't lose, that's cool. But I want to get my CSI as low as I can. So, first I roll, see if I get my 6. I do not. If I had, this would be over. And now I get a new leader, and I get Nicias, whom I can pull out this way. So I want to make a siege that'll fail. This is so lame to be trying to lose. So when I actually conduct the siege, the modified roll is 1 through 3, the siege fails. Okay. So any siege might succeed, might fail. Ah, jeez. Oh, I really don't know, because I can send it out and siege just about anything. Well, let's do this. I can gather this force from Chios. Unfortunately, doesn't look like I have an easy way through there without stopping. So we'll go there, and that's going to be another siege. And now once again, no chance for... Oh, I picked up some more troops. That's 600 more. I didn't have to take that much. But let's see if I get another operation. And yeah, I think the solo game maybe needs a lot more. All right, so that's it. So now we go to not sure if we go to the going home segment yet. Yeah, after subsequent operations, we hit the going home segment. Battles happen in their own little, in the combat phase. Okay, so we hit a going home segment in the end of the operation phase. And that's everybody in the box according to the post-combat movement table. That'll be this. So I've got 2 Athenian hoplites, and they go to Athens. And that's just where they go. And oh, we're going to have to fight. I'm not sure about that, but I think so. And then the next thing is Athenian Cav goes to Athens. Well, that'll help bring our CSI down, I guess. All right. And that's all that's there. So now we're going to go to the combat phase. We've already determined our sieges, and we skip to the battle resolution segment. Home spaces without siege markers occupied by forces on opposing sides. There aren't any of those. Coalition spaces, no. Yeah, because we have a siege here. We have enough strength. All other spaces without siege markers occupied by forces, no. All friendly ZOI spaces that contain enemy units under a siege marker. Well, do we choose this by one direction or another? I don't know. But we have these in our ZOI, so I think we have a fight there. So, for the battle, let's see what we have here. Sparta gets 1 for their leadership. They have more cav, so that puts them up to 2. They have 12 hoplites. That gives them plus 10. We're up to 12. Am I sure I'm not forced into a siege here? Hold on. Let's take a look at the long walls roll, because if we can find that again. So I think that forced certain things. Athens or Piraeus? Well, that's not where we are. So a fight we have. Okay. All right, so we were at plus 12 for Sparta so far. Another 2 for 50% hoplites, Spartan hoplites, right? Yeah, barely. So that puts me to 14. Okay. All right, so we have a plus 14 advantage. That means we're going to hit 14 of these, they're just killed. Well, I'll make it, no. I was going to say 13, but it's not the case. Okay, and they get an SCI, and we lose an SCI. And we're well on our way to winning the game as by destroying Athens. Okay, I think that's it for battles. Now we go to the sieges. Okay. No. That battle didn't happen. Right? All friendly COIs containing an enemy units... No, the siege marker is not actually on top of those units. I'm marking it on top for my own... it actually goes under those units. If you look at how this is determined, you place a siege marker in the space... if either of the following... beneath the army. Okay. So, now for the actual sieges. Okay. Well, let's look here. We have the naval forces necessary, so we add our tactical rating, and on a 4 through 6, we succeed. I don't know what happens on a 7. Okay, so we won the siege of Syracuse. We eliminate the besieged force and replace the siege marker with a ravaged counter. There we go. And don't ask how I decide what goes where. Okay. If one's not already present, increase the besieging side's SCI by 1 and increase its treasury by 300. Well, that sucked. We didn't want to get our SCI higher. And the opponent actually loses an SCI there. I think we have Athenian captives, because there was a victory there. The winning side captures hostages in any land battle in which any SPs lost were Athenian or Spartan hoplites. We lost some Athenian hoplites, which means that they're not allowed to attack Sparta anymore. Which, as the player, just means I can't attack Sparta itself. I can actually get a lot closer than if I was a non-player. Alright, and I believe that's all we have there. Syracuse subtracted 2 from the die roll. Forgot about that. I was at +1, that put me to 6-4. I still succeeded. Syracuse is harder to siege. Okay. I am going to resolve the rest of the sieges off camera. I'll come back afterwards. Okay, so all the sieges were actually successful. Running up here and here. Our total SCIs right now is 0 for the Athenians, because they made so many sieges, +1 for Sparta. So I'm not really doing a great job at losing the war yet. Now I guess we go to the rebellion expansion phase, but let's make sure. Oh no, we go to the going home segment of the combat phase. For each army still on the map, we roll a die and add the leader's strategy, not the tactical, to the die roll. The strategy, for example, for him would be +2. And we need a 6 or greater to stay. And we succeed. So the leader goes in the cup. And we get to keep the Athenian army in Syracuse, which is important because we want to spread that out to grab Sicily and the value there. Likewise, up here, he has a -1, so he can't possibly succeed. So 1 SP is left in the place, and the remainder is in the army going home. And we have to leave a hoplite because it's a land hex instead of an island. I don't know what kind of hoplite we have to leave. Spartan or Athenian if possible rather than allied. Okay. So there's 3. I hope I didn't screw up somehow. That's here. The leader gets cupped. Over here, it's a +1 strategic. He also must leave one of these. And then finally here with no strategic, but it's on a 6 or higher. So I could conceivably have the ability to stay. These, grab 1, and the rest go back. And yes, I've pillaged my own territory, which I don't know if that's as bad as it sounds. It sounds like that's going to cost me money, but I got 300 talents from the prisoners, so I guess it all makes sense. Okay. Now, continued rebellion expansion. I don't think any of that happens. The space has rebelled. No, we don't have any rebellions to deal with anymore. Rebellion expansion, that can only happen if there were some. Helot rebellion, we have not taken lots of areas near Sparta, so that's not an issue. Now, we go to the administrative side. Let's see what our revenue is. Okay. The Athenians get 3,500. Well, but each ravaged, rebellion, or captured space is going to subtract 50 from that. So that's 1, 2, looks like 3 spaces we've been hurt on, 4 spaces, that's going to be 200 off that. 3,500 minus 200 is 3,300. Okay. Yeah, poor and we got more. Icephora, which is this space here. If we can trace a line through, well, we've got a line running here up to there. As long as it can trace through free of enemy spaces from home space to Icephora. Well, I think we've managed that by going from here out to this way. That's worth another 1,000. Macedonia is allied with us, but it doesn't seem like it matters whether or not who controls the space. It's just that there's forces. So there's another 1,000 for me. That's good. Okay. Over to the Spartans. They get 2,500, but they lose 50 from each ravaged space. I don't think Syracuse counts against them. because they're not, I don't know. Yeah, until Syracuse is captured, so we're not going to worry about that. But we have 1, 2, and I can actually pull these off at the same time, I think, but 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 13, looks to me like 13 times 50 is, let's see, 13 times 5 would be 65, so we'll call it 650 off of that 2,500. 2,500, and what did we say, 650 off. Well, there's 600 off, and there's 50 off. We flipped it over to the plus 50 side. And now we're allowed to build troops. And the non-player side can only build units of the same kind and the same number which were lost. Oh, shit. Well, I don't remember what I lost because I wasn't keeping track of that. I know I lost the Syracusans, which is, and I think that's it, 2 of these, 2 cav, and 2 navy. And that's 6. That's going to cost us 1,200. Do we have any further limitation there? Yes, we still can't build more than 300. So now I roll for which type? Well, I have 2 of each type. So I'm going to build a cavalry, an infantry, and another infantry. So I built 2 infantry and a cav this turn. And that's going to cost me my 600. And where do they get built? I believe anything constructed is going to go with post-combat, yeah. So I've got infantry, hoplite, Spartan allies, 50% to Corinth, 50% to Thebes. Strangely, I'm not seeing any. Yeah, there's some notes here. See, I expected Persia to get the first shot at these. But that doesn't seem to be the case. When Persia's okay, there's notes over here. Okay, so Syracuse is not an ally because they've been destroyed. So yes, 1 each. Well, one's going to Thebes, and one's going to Corinth. Here. And now we have a cav, which goes to Thebes automatically. So there we've rebuilt. And you can see it's going to be kind of tough to defeat Athens with Sparta because Sparta can lose more troops than the Athenians can. I now have the ability to buy 3 Spartan units. And I have no real restrictions here. I have to think kind of hard about this. I'm going to be spreading out through Sicily. I feel like I'm doing okay, actually, which wasn't what I intended. I'm going to build 3 Athenian fleets for 600, and I'm allowed to do that. Okay, to armistice and surrender. First, bellicosity. I lose 1. No, I lose nothing off my bellicosity. These guys had 1 They would gain a half. Which way is it rounded? Rounded down, so they're not gaining anything either. Total the number of league and coalition spaces belonging to that side that are currently in rebellion, capture, or ravage, divided by 10 and subtract this from bellicosity. This also is rounded down. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not going to be an issue. So Athens is okay. Sparta is maybe 1. I don't know what to say about that. That's been captured. I don't think that counts. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's going to subtract 1 of Sparta's bellicosity. So we do not have a surrender. The armistice can't happen. My bellicosity is not low enough. I forgot to add victory points. Athens lost a fight here. That's minus 15. I lost a siege here. That's minus 15. I won 1, 2, 3 sieges. That's plus 30. I think that nets us everything that we're due. So we're going to lose 15 points for the net game turn. And that gives us a current score of negative 15. Oops. Not doing what we had hoped to do. What we wanted to do was gain victory points and lose SCI, confidence. These guys were supposed to go home as well. I haven't taken care of them yet. But all the ravage markers are removed from the board. And you can see those have a certain degree of value in terms of driving the enemy's SCI down. The SCIs, I think, are set at 0. Let's see. That should be somewhere. Oh no, it stays till the next turn. What is this? Each side can build up to 5 strength points. What's that shit? Oh, that's during an armistice, no? Alright, we're in the wrong place here. Okay. I think we're fine there in terms of the SCI staying there. So, something else. Returning these guys. So they're going to return again by the post-combat movement. That should have happened back here during the combat phase. In the going home segment, you remove them to their home in coalition in accordance with post-combat. So that actually happened before production. And after placing those guys on the board where I think they're supposed to go, we move the turn marker down to the second turn. And that's more than enough for this video. I had some thoughts of, well, gee, maybe I'll need to, just do the solo game. Maybe I'll be so close to it ending after one turn that I'll want to get a second turn in here. But this is longer than I thought it would be in terms of the video because I went into so much detail. But it's also, I think, pretty clear that I'm not going to get a victory by destroying Athens this way. All right, let's send this one up.